After 7 years together, Ryan suddenly called off our wedding. He said he had to give his childhood sweetheart a home first, only then could he marry me. The reason? His childhood sweetheart's mother was dying of cancer, and her final wish was to see her daughter married. He couldn't bear to let the old woman pass with that regret, so he'd promised at her bedside that he would wed her daughter. When I heard it, I said I understood, and, fancy that, I happened to be about to hold my own dream wedding with my lifelong best friend. Because my best friend's father also had terminal cancer, and his dying wish was to see his son married. I, too, couldn't bear to let the old man die with that regret, so I'd promised at his bedside that I would marry my best friend. I'd just hung up with Chase when Ryan walked in from the hallway, dropped onto the couch, and looked utterly spent. I knew why he looked so exhausted. In 1 month we were supposed to get married. He had sworn to give me a spectacular wedding. These past weeks we'd both been running ourselves ragged preparing for it. Considerately, I poured him a glass of water. I've finalized the wedding gown appointment and locked in the photographer. This weekend we'll pick your dress and knock out the engagement shoot. The planners briefed, too, whenever we can squeeze it in we'll swing by so the two of us can. Before I could finish, Ryan cut me off. Blair, we need to push our date. Willow's mom has cancer, 3 months left, tops. You know we grew up together, her mom's like a mother to me. She wants Willow to have a home before she dies. A nasty premonition prickled my skin. Why was he bringing up Willow now? Ryan, if Willow wants to get married, why does that delay our wedding? He took my hands and pulled me onto the cushion opposite him, heartbreak and guilt warred across his face. Blair, Willow's mom is stage 4. She begged me to marry Willow, give her a family. I couldn't say no. He paused, studying my reaction. My face stayed calm, my heart felt shredded. What had I just heard? My fiancé was going to marry another woman. Was this his way of breaking up with me? I stared, speechless. When he saw my expression he hurried to soothe me. Don't worry, Willow and I already agreed it's a sham marriage. You know I love only you. We're just staging a ceremony so her mom can witness it. We won't actually be together. So the bride this time has to be Willow. Don't take it the wrong way, it's all for show. Give me a few months. Once her situation is over I'll throw you an even bigger wedding. The words left me dumbstruck. The man who claimed to love me was, at the 11th hour, swapping brides, and telling me not to mind. He'd come back in a few months and gift me a grander spectacle. Do normal people do things like this? Bravo, he'd just erased every last drop of love I'd carried for him. Ryan and I met in college. Our encounter was pure chance. That day I'd meant to confess to my secret crush, but outside his campus gate I saw a blonde foreign girl wrapped around him. I trudged back to my own school in a daze and literally crashed into Ryan, who looked equally devastated. So our relationship began. Only later did I learn his heart had just been trampled by the girl he loved, while he discovered my long silent crush had ended in Jamie. He was handsome, gentle, attentive to my moods. With my crush now someone else's boyfriend, I had zero chance, so I went after Ryan instead. Two broken souls, we collided and quickly became inseparable. 7 years. He was considerate, I doted on him in return. We supposedly kept no secrets. He said Willow felt like a little sister and asked me to be understanding. I said Chase was a big brother figure and asked him to tolerate that. I felt his affection, so his childhood friendship never bothered me. He sensed my devotion, so my bond with Chase never fazed him. Our respective childhood shadows behaved themselves and rarely intruded on our life together, so we arrived at the brink of marriage. But I never imagined that, at the finish line, his little sister would suddenly throw a tantrum, or that he, the bigger child, would yank the bride crown off my head and crown her instead, demanding I hand over the wedding I'd painstakingly planned. He needed to give her a home first. I almost laughed aloud. He probably thought himself heroic, selflessly dedicating himself to his childhood friend. Fine. I'd help him shine. Coincidentally, I've been meaning to tell you something. Chase's dad is sick, and the doctors say he doesn't have long. His one remaining wish is to see Chase married, so Chase asked me to help by holding a wedding with him. Don't worry, we agreed it's a sham. You know the person I truly love is you. We're only putting on a show for his father. I won't actually be with Chase. So, I didn't get to finish. Blair, have you lost your mind? Willow's mother is genuinely dying. Could you show a shred of compassion? It's just a few months. It's life and death, not some game. I know you're upset, but don't lie just to spite me. I told you, Willow and I are only pretending. Once her mom passes, we'll go back to normal. Don't be so jealous. Trust me, when this is over, I'll give you the grand wedding you deserve. He stepped closer, arms wide to pull me in. I sidestepped. I nearly giggled, so even he found this behavior revolting. I stared at him, ice in my veins. I'm neither crazy nor spiteful. In fact, I understand you perfectly. Given your history with Willow, refusing to help would be heartless. I'm telling the truth. Chase's dad is ill, and he wants to see his son married. I don't want. A glass exploded against the tiles. Ryan had hurled his cup. Blair, I get that you're angry, but jokes like that aren't funny. Don't ever joke about it again. His eyes were blades. I met them with equal frost. I'm not joking. You know, Chase and I grew up side by side. Turning down this small favor would be unforgivable. Of course, it's only a formality for the outside world. You know, my heart has always belonged to you. Relax, I won't sleep with Chase. We'll just stage a wedding so Captain Vance can rest easy. Perfect. While you help Willow, I'll help Chase. When you come back to me, I'll come back to you. Then we'll be together for good. How does that sound? Ryan glowered, trying to bore straight into my soul. After a long moment, he suddenly crushed me in a tight embrace. Blair, I get it. You want me to feel the anger and pain you're feeling right now. Message received. I know I've hurt you, but Evelyn raised me like her own son. I have to grant her dying wish. I'm already exhausted taking care of them. Please, try to understand. Stop provoking me. I'm hurting too. You can't keep hurting me just because you know I love you. Come on, don't throw a tantrum, just a few months. His words made me want to vomit. I was hurting him? The nerve, he was the one slapping me then blaming me for the bruise. Before I could say anything else, his phone rang. He let go of me to answer it, and I could hear a woman's voice through the line. Ryan, my mom's passed out again. What should I do? Wait for me. I'll be right there. Ryan hung up, then looked at me with eyes full of apology. Blair, Willow's mom has taken a turn for the worse. I have to get to the hospital. Be good, and wait for me to come back. Then, without looking back, he walked away. Wait for you to come back. I'm not the town dump. Before the sadness could even hit, my phone lit up with Chase's name. I ended the call, jumped in my car, and sped to St. Mary's. Inside the room I found Captain Vance sleeping heavily and Chase looking haggard. How's your dad? He lifted a finger to his lips, then tugged me into the corridor. The doctor says to take him home, feed him whatever he wants, keep him happy, grant every wish. Blair, I know you're getting married soon, but we grew up together. Think of all the times I took the blame for you. Think of every chicken dinner when Dad made sure you got the drumstick. Help me just this once. You have no idea how psycho the women on those dating apps are. Chase's eyes were red-rimmed, shining at me like a begging puppy. Chase and I were inseparable as kids. Casey, him running around bare-assed, me in split pants we each still tease the other about. When his dad worked late, Captain Vance dropped him at our house and we slept top to tail in my bed. When my parents traveled, they left me with the Vances, and again we shared the mattress. At his table, a drumstick always landed on my plate. At ours, the chopsticks and bowl across from me were always his. He took every scolding my parents had meant for me. I stepped between him and his dad's belt more times than I can count. Back then we were two halves of the same bratty whole. Elementary through middle school, nobody dared touch me, because Chase would swing first. If someone mocked him, I'd be right there with the sharpest tongue. High school rezoning split us. His family chose the new outskirts development, mine stayed downtown, but we never lost touch. Chase had just called to say Captain Vance had months at most. The old man's final wish, see his son married and settled. Chase, perennially single, can't conjure a wife overnight. Hire a stranger and she might cling. Clearly the safe choice is me. Ergo, a favor wedding, a sham marriage to fool Captain Vance. Since college graduation he hasn't had a single girlfriend, I know that for fact. But me, 2 steps from my own aisle? No way I'd play bride again. I shot him down on the spot, told him to quit the harebrained schemes and hit the dating apps harder. Yet the second I hung up, Ryan served the surprise of a lifetime. To honor his sick almost mother's dying wish, he was postponing our dream wedding and swapping me out for Willow. All he asked was a few months, then he'd circle back and marry me. Hearing that lunacy, Chase's plan flashed through my mind like neon. I was done with Ryan. Helping Chase wouldn't cost me a twinge of guilt. Bonus, it saved face over being publicly discarded. I cut Chase off mid-plea. Enough. I'm in. Set it up fast, no regrets for your dad. Chase gaped. Seriously, Blair? You're saying yes? No take-backs. I'll book us today. Tomorrow we hit City Hall. Dad's ticking clock, remember. I blinked. Wait, we actually need a license? It's just for show. Of course we need one. We flash it at the ceremony. Skip that step and Dad will smell acting a mile away, break his heart worse. I rolled my eyes. $9 novelty certificate online? He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Blair, your future father-in-law is a 30-year cop. Fake paper? He'll spot it before the ink dries and be crushed, right, Captain Vance and his eagle badge. A forgery would backfire spectacularly. It's only paperwork, let the man have every happy day left. Fine. Pick the slot and text me, deal. I'll call you once it's booked. When fate hates you, even cold water lodges between your teeth. I'd barely left the ward when Ryan rounded the corner. Surprise registered on his face. Before I could react, he yanked me into a niche between supply closets. Blair, please don't make waves. Evelyn can't handle stress. If she figures out Willow and I are faking it, she could crash. Show some compassion. I shook off his hand, annoyance spiking. Relax. I'm not here to watch your cozy little performance, Avery. Then why are you here? I frowned. I told you, Chase's dad is sick. Disbelief flickered across his face. That's the truth? I met his eyes, dead calm. Absolutely. Captain Vance is fragile. If he discovers Chase and I are pretending, his condition could nosedive. Be a dear, keep your mouth shut. Ryan's expression cycled through every color on an artist's palette: hurt, sadness, shock, fury, disbelief. Anyway, I've got a wedding to plan. See you. I spun on my heel, satisfaction bubbling at his obvious misery. He followed me straight home. Watching him swagger through my front door, I stuck out my hand. He mistook the gesture for reconciliation and reached to lace his fingers with mine. I slapped his palm away hard. I'm getting married. As my ex, you shouldn't have a house key. Rowan, anger clouding his eyes. What the hell are you throwing a tantrum for? I told you, Willow is only a formality, nothing physical. A couple of months and I'm all yours. Why isn't that enough? You have to stage some fake charade with Chase to punish me? Suddenly his face switched to tragic sorrow. Can't you give a little? The thought of you marrying Chase tears me apart. I exhaled. Textbook self-serving hypocrite. Also a prize-winning bastard who speaks only garbage. He'd succeeded in making me nauseous. Hand over the key and get out. I'm formally dumping you, now. He stared, stunned that I wouldn't budge. You're ending 7 years because I'm doing a sham wedding with Willow? Throwing away everything we share? I snorted. 7 years that crumbled the instant you swapped brides. Spare me your love. I'm not interested. Leave. He opened his mouth just as his phone rang. He hesitated, answered. When the call ended, he looked at me again. You're too emotional right now. We'll talk once you calm down. He left, without returning the key, so I called a locksmith on the spot and had the lock changed. Much better. My parents are well off. They bought me a condo the day I graduated college. I've lived in my own place ever since. Mom drilled it into me. A girl doesn't cross the line with any man before the wedding. When Ryan asked me to move in, I refused. I only gave him a house key so he could come and go, never once let him stay the night. Now that we're broken up, there's no way I'm letting him waltz back in. Maybe the dog's been too busy. He hasn't bothered me lately, and my mood's been sky high. On License and Sign Day, I showed up at City Hall Marriage Bureau right on time. While I waited for Chase, I ran straight into Ryan and Willow, fingers laced together. Ryan spotted me, yanked his hand free, and stalked over. Blair, if you've calmed down, we can't talk here. Go home, I'll come find you once I'm done. I was stunned. How full of himself could he be? If you're sick, take your meds. Stop hallucinating. My indifference clearly irked him. Don't throw a tantrum. People are watching. I figured the guy was diseased, so I stepped away. Keep your distance from infection, right? But the mutt followed. I promised Willow's mom I'd bring our marriage certificate to St. Mary's today. I won't go back on my word, so don't be mad. It's just a formality, I snorted. What happened in his head had nothing to do with me. Relax, stranger. I've got no reason to be angry, he didn't buy it. You're here on purpose and you say we're nothing? Blair, Willow, and I are only ticking a box. Believe me, he'd nauseated me again. Sir, you're delusional. I'm here to get my license, with my fiancé. Avery flickered across his face. Blair, you're lying, right? I shrugged. Why would I lie? Just then Chase's car rolled up. See? He's here. Ryan glanced at the approaching SUV, frowning disapproval. Stop this charade. You actually dragged Chase into your act? You know Willow and I are faking it. A few months and I'm all yours. Just wait, don't claim you're marrying someone else to spite me. You're hurting me, Blair. I love you. Before the last word landed, Willow stepped forward, eyes glistening. Blair, I'm sorry. Don't blame you on Ryan. Mom won't relax without that certificate, so he's doing this for her. Please don't marry another man just to punish him, it'll break his heart. He loves you so much. Please, for Mom's last days, let me borrow Ryan. Once her wish is granted, I'll give him right back. She actually knelt, tears plopping onto the marble. Ryan rushed to lift her. Willow, don't apologize, this is my choice. I'll file for divorce after her mother passes, not one crack will show. She'll leave this world without regret. He stroked her hair, then glared at me. Blair, she knelt, have you no shame? From today we stay apart, if Evelyn suspects, her condition could tank. When it's over I'll come for you. I promised you a dream wedding and I'll deliver. Now go home and stop the drama. My blood boiled. Their sick duet was suffocating. I'd flat out said I was licensing with Chase, how thick could he be, thinking I was only throwing a tantrum. Their words coated my tongue with slime, the pair looked like toads squatting on my shoes. I couldn't waste another syllable. I moved off, desperate to keep them out of Chase's sight. If he saw, he'd read the whole story. He'd asked for my help, yet I was using him as a spare tire, hardly honorable. But of course fate laughed. Chase strolled up, eyebrow cocked. Need me to spell it out for him? I scowled. Zip it. License or not? If not, I'm going home. Yes, yes, yes. The moment you said yes, I locked it in. After the paperwork we'll flash the certificate at Dad in St. Mary's. Ryan's stomach lurched. She's actually doing it, marrying Chase to punish me? She doesn't care how I feel? He darted between us. Blair, you're my fiancé. You can't register with him. I met his eyes, ice cold. Fiancé? Yours is over there. Panic flickered. Blair, it's fake, a formality. Chase draped an arm around my shoulder, sneering. No wonder she said yes. You've been fooling around? License in hand and you still stalk her? This is between Blair and me, back off. Chase grinned, lethal. Sorry, man. She's about to become my wife, so yeah, my business. I jabbed Chase's ribs and hissed, shut up, ours is fake too. He winced. Easy, killer. Just backing you up, can't let him bully you on my watch. Our whispered closeness enraged Ryan. Fine, marry him. Don't expect me to marry you afterward. Chase laughed out loud. Dude, no mirror? Piss will do, take a look. A second-hand jackass wants my Blair? Get lost before I rearrange your face. He hoisted a fist the size of a softball, and I flashed back to college when he'd pummeled Ryan for dating me. If I hadn't begged Ryan, Chase would have been disciplined for sure back then. I quickly caught his restless fist and turned to Ryan. What exactly are you hung up on? I already told you we're done, finished. Why are you still clinging? Ryan stared at me, eyes heavy. You can't just say it's over. I don't agree. I frowned, a wave of irritation rising from somewhere deep inside. Fine, suppose we're not broken up. Like you said, it's just going through the motions, so why do you care? So stop throwing a tantrum now. Go sign the papers with Willow. I tugged Chase to leave, but Ryan blocked my path. Blair, I'm not marrying Willow. Don't marry Chase either, okay? Willow's eyes flooded when she heard that. Ryan, forget the license. Mom only has days left anyway. Even if she sees us married, it's just 2 extra days, a little more happiness. You don't have to fight Blair for my mother's last wish. I saw the tangle in the man's eyes and gave a cold laugh. Willow's mom is at death's door. Skip the license and you'll push her condition downhill. Could you live with that on your conscience? I knew Ryan would end up signing, so I stopped wasting breath, pulled Chase, and walked into the clerk's hall. Once we left City Hall, Chase and I headed to St. Monica's. Who knew we'd bump into Ryan and Willow right outside? Ryan's gaze locked on the bright red marriage booklet in Chase's hand. He shot me a hate-filled glare, then draped an arm around Willow and brushed past. Chase wouldn't be outdone. He slipped his arm around my waist and herded us all into the same elevator. The world really is tiny. Turn a corner and there they are again. Morgan perked up the instant he saw our certificate and insisted on checking out. Remembering the doctor had said discharge was fine, I didn't argue and rushed the paperwork. Of course, the moment we stepped out we collided with Ryan and Willow supporting an old lady. Ryan watched me anxiously, afraid I'd say something that'd upset her. I couldn't be bothered, but Willow came looking for trouble. She leaned in, voice pitched for only me. So you married someone to provoke Ryan, big deal. He still signed with me. Now that you've wed another man, you're second-hand in his eyes. He'll never take you back. Ryan belongs to me alone from now on. You lost. I was seething. When she started to back away I slapped her hard. Willow, what are you doing? Emery barked, yet he didn't move. Only then did I notice Chase had planted himself in front of Ryan. No wonder he couldn't budge. I mentally gave Chase a thumbs up. What did I do? I was walking and this woman's huge face crashed into my hand. Now my hand hurts. I'd really swung, so yeah, my palm stung. Chase hurried over, lifting my hand with concern. Careful next time. People with big faces have thick skin. Look, your hand's all red. Steer clear of them so you don't get hurt again. Got it, I'll be more careful. Maybe we were too cocky. The old lady snapped and lunged at me. Crazy woman, how dare you hit my daughter, I'll fight you. She didn't get far. Chase twisted her arm in one clean police move and pinned her. I blinked, impressed. He was faster than I'd expected. But worry hit me. The woman supposedly had cancer. Could that maneuver worsen it and let her sue us? I shot him a look. He read it instantly, flashed a reassured nod, and deposited her back into Ryan's arms. She kept yelling, I'm pressing charges. You assaulted me on purpose. Chase chuckled coldly. You sure? Insurance fraud with a forged medical file. Pretty sure the cops handle that too. Catching the panic in her eyes and noticing her rosy cheeks and booming voice, the light bulb went on. I glanced between Willow, Ryan, and the old lady. Mom, Blair's Ryan's friend. No need to drag the police into this for his sake, Willow said meekly, then gave Ryan a pitiful look. Humph, for my future son-in-law's sake I'll let it go. Come, we're going home. She yanked Willow with one hand and Ryan with the other, clearly grabbing a way out. Ryan let himself be pulled along, dazed. He wasn't stupid, he'd caught Chase's hint, but he didn't want to believe Willow and Evelyn would deceive him. Still, one look at their faces and doubt crept in. Could they really be lying? Watching the old lady march off in fine fettle, I thought, not exactly the Walking Dead act she's selling. A mischievous part of me wondered what Ryan would do when he discovered the con. Morgan, let's head home. Kid, why are you still calling me uncle? You married my boy, time to upgrade. You holding out for a red envelope greeting gift or something? Morgan pretended to scowl. What could I say? I squeezed out a soft, Dad. His grin widened. Once we're back, Dad's wiring you a cash-up packet. And just like that I followed the Vance men home. Inside, Chase tugged me straight to his bedroom. Ask whatever you want. I did have questions, so I cut to it. What did you mean, someone forged medical records? Chase gave me a look that said, you know damn well. Exactly what you think, Evelyn's medical record is fake. I raised an eyebrow. How do you know? I drove Dad to St. Monica's and overheard their little mother-daughter plot. I narrowed my eyes. So you knew they were faking a file to trick Ryan and you did nothing? He nodded. Why stop it? If Ryan loved you, he'd have refused, like you did when I first asked. He didn't. What does that tell you? He doesn't love you. I gritted my teeth, but he was right. The point isn't whether they lied, it's whether Ryan truly loves me. If he did, even a real terminal diagnosis wouldn't have made him propose to someone else, just like I'd refused Chase at the start. I can't believe a man who dotes on another woman, marries her, truly loves me. Maybe he does, but not deep enough. Maybe he's just fickle, claiming to love us both. I chase perfection, and a flawed love like that I don't want. Actually, I should thank Chase for letting the charade play out, otherwise I'd never have seen the jerk for what he is. If Evelyn could fake cancer, then, tell me, you said Captain Vance is sick, only months left. Chase hadn't expected me to connect the dots so fast. He hesitated, should he come clean? At last he was half stammering, his whole face cautious as he said, Blair, Dad really is sick. The doctors say he only has a few months, then he'll recover. Learning that Morgan wasn't in serious danger, I exhaled in relief. Morgan has always treated me so well, I honestly didn't want anything to happen to him. I looked at him calmly and said nothing. Chase lowered his eyes, almost apologetic. I overheard their scheme, and I was furious. I wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine. I couldn't stand the idea of you being wronged. Even after hearing his explanation, I still didn't quite understand. Tricking me into filing for a marriage license, all just to vent my anger, to repay them in their own coin? Seeing that I remained silent, Chase asked carefully, Blair, are you angry? I stared straight at him. Chase, tell me honestly, why did you trick me into signing those papers? He didn't answer. Instead he countered, Blair, do you still love Ryan? I rolled my eyes. Don't mention him. I feel sick just hearing his name. The moment those words left my mouth, Chase's eyes lit up. Really? You truly don't love him anymore? I snapped, I'm a normal person. I don't have a masochistic streak, if that's what you're wondering. Stop questioning me and answer mine. Why did you trick me? Chase still wouldn't respond directly. Blair, are you regretting it because I deceived you? Are you planning to divorce me right now? I froze, blurting the truth before I could stop myself. I haven't thought about divorce. Only after I spoke did it hit me, why don't I want a divorce from Chase? He smiled at me, still answering a question with a question. Then what difference does it make whether I tricked you or not? Just tell me, does what I did make you feel good? I nodded, seeing that jerk choke on his rage was downright satisfying. Sure, it felt good, but using you to bait him, doesn't that make you feel used? Chase laughed and ruffled my hair. I don't feel used at all. I slapped his hand away. Don't mess up my hair. He coaxed gently, want to feel even better? I didn't hesitate. Absolutely, trash the sleaze and the phony. If you've got a plan, spit it out so I can judge it. Chase's lips curved. Then you'll have to follow my arrangements. I pretended to be scared. Even if you sell me off? Stop that, I could never bear to sell you. I nodded. All right, I'll follow your lead. A month later, I stepped into the hotel lobby wearing a wedding gown. Only then did I realize exactly how Chase planned to make me feel even better. After we filed our license, I'd blacklisted every contact of Ryan's. But he kept calling and texting from unknown numbers the moment he felt like it. Whenever I recognized it was him, I deleted and blocked without mercy. The night before the ceremony, I received another text from an unfamiliar line. Blair, tomorrow is your last chance. If you show up, you'll be my bride. I didn't even finish reading, straight to delete and block it went. So when I ran into Ryan at the hotel, I was still a bit dazed. Seeing me in my wedding dress, he assumed I'd come to reclaim him. Immaculate in tuxedo tails, he watched me from several yards away, joy shining in his eyes. Blair, I knew you'd come. I knew you couldn't let go. Just then Willow hurried over, also in bridal white. Ryan, why are you still here? The ceremony's about to begin. For some reason Ryan shoved her aside. Willow, I told you, if Blair shows up today, the wedding is hers. She's here, so you can leave. Willow stared at him in disbelief. Ryan, are you out of your mind? Both our families and friends are here. If you swap brides now, what will people think of me, of you? Tears glistened in Willow's eyes, and for no clear reason she fixed them on me. Blair, please, let Ryan and me be. All our guests are here, we really can't change brides. Ryan and I already filed our license. If you marry him today, you'll be labeled the homewrecker everyone despises, you. Before she could finish, a slap cracked across her face. Willow, how dare you call Blair a homewrecker? She's not, you are. Don't think I don't know the scheme you and your mother cooked up. I kept quiet because of the years we've shared. This wedding was Blair's from the start, I'm only returning what's hers. Get out of here before you upset her. With that, Ryan strode toward me, but Willow threw her arms around his legs. Ryan, don't forget we have a legal marriage license, we're husband and wife. If you insist on marrying Blair, she'll be the shameful homewrecker. Do you honestly believe someone as proud as her would accept that title? Shut up. My marriage to you is fake, Blair isn't a homewrecker. We're the ones who truly love each other. True love? Ryan, you're only fooling yourself. If your love were real, why did you file papers with me? That was you and your mother's fraud. Ryan, stop making excuses for your wavering heart. Maybe you love Blair, but can you deny you also love me? Blair has Chase now, she'll never choose you again. Let it go, and let's build our life together. I watched the tug-of-war with relish. Chase appeared at my side. Feeling better now? I nodded. Much better. Completely over him? Completely. Then let's go, our ceremony is about to start. Blair, are you really giving up on me? Ryan called from behind. I looked back. Ryan, the moment you decided to swap brides, I was done. We're both married now, let's leave it at that. Inside the grand, tender, soaring music began to play. Chase held a ring and dropped to one knee. I gaped at him, this moment hadn't been in rehearsal. Blair, I promise, in good times and bad, in wealth and want, in health and sickness, in joy and sorrow, I will stand forever at your side, your most steadfast support. I will love you without reserve, take pride in you, respect you, and meet your every need. I will shield you unhesitatingly in danger. I will comfort you patiently in grief. I will grow with you in body, mind and spirit, faithful to you, cherishing you, for all my days. I love you. Today I give myself to you. Will you marry me? I stared at Chase for a long time before I finally whispered, I will. Thank you for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.